What's up, YouTube? This is Big Mike. I want to give a shout out to Derrick Rose, who suffered what appeared to be a significant injury the other day when he was fouled by, I think it was Greg Monroe in that game against the Milwaukee Bucks. But apparently the injury is not as severe as was originally feared, and that is great news. It's very good news for Derrick Rose. I guess he'll miss some games, maybe a stretch, a couple of weeks. But at one point I was hearing that, from the head coach Tyronn Lue, that it wasn't looking good. And that, kind of made you feel for the guy. He's really, I've had my fair frustration with him. As a Chicago Bulls fan, you get frustrated when you got a guy like that constantly getting injured. I remember years ago when Grant Hill kept having his injuries. I remember when Anthony Hardaway kept having his injuries. And it's different when you're not a fan of that team. Like, God, man, I wish that guy wish he would just get a break, man. And Anthony Hardaway never really got that break, man. He became a shell of himself, and he limped out of the league. I think he was out of the league by 2007. Grant Hill was able to overcome his injuries. Never became the all-star player that he was in his prime before the injuries. Really superstar player before the injuries. But he was able to finally get healthy. And for a stretch of years, man, he was one of the healthier players in the league. He became a role player. He wasn't the same guy, but he was a valuable player. And he played all the way up until he was like 38 or 39 years old. And so I hope the same thing happens for Derrick Rose. I hope he's able to overcome the injury bug. I remember one time reading an autobiography from Jerry West, and he was saying that he wondered if there is something to the theory that some players are genetically predisposed to injuries. He wondered about that. He said maybe there's some truth to that. I don't know. Both he and Oscar Robertson came in the NBA at about the same time. But Jerry West played in substantially fewer games than Oscar Robertson over that period of time due to injuries. And you have to wonder about that. Gordon Hayward, suffered that horrible, gruesome injury opening night of the NBA. And that's the type of injury, the one that he suffered is not only going to be season-ending, but I don't think it's going to be career-ending, but I do believe it could possibly be career-altering. I'm wondering about the psychological effects on Gordon Hayward, that type of injury. I know he's not a high flyer, per se. He's not a Dwayne Wade or to have a white counterpart, so to speak. I know he's not a Tom Chambers or something like that. I get that. But I would think with an injury like that, he would have to always be reluctant to do anything that involves him in contact with other players, especially anything that would involve him being in air, in suspended air, at the mercy of defensive players, anything like that. I think he might be even more predicated on just shooting jumpers, he might become just, a primary jump shooter type guy. I can see that injury really also affecting him on defense. So, I don't know, man. I just wonder about those types of injuries. Derrick Rose shows that he's truly a fearsome guy psychologically, man. What I mean by that is the way that he plays is not going to be affected by injuries. He's going to keep playing. Kind of reminds me of Joe Pesci from Casino, you know what I mean? Like, I remember Joe Pesci was telling that banker in that scene, I'll get up nice and early, take a walk down over to the bank, and walk in and see, and if you don't have my money for me,
I'll crack your fucking head wide open in front of everybody in the bank. And just about the time I'm coming out of jail, hopefully, you'll be coming out of your coma. And guess what? I'll split your fucking head wide open again. Because I'm fucking stupid. I don't give a fuck about jail. That's my business. Now, that's kind of Derrick Rose. Like, I don't give a fuck. I'm going to keep playing the way I play. And if I get injured, I will come back and I'm going to keep playing the way I play. So, you know, that's the thing I was going to, I said in my other video, I think I said it in my video about the opening night game. I think that injuries is going to be an issue with Cleveland because you have older players. And when you got older players or players with a history of injury, that's going to happen. I wouldn't be surprised if, and I hope that doesn't happen, but as you get older, you become more, you know, you become more susceptible to injuries, okay? That just happens. When you got a guy like Wade, 35 years old, he'll be 36, I think, in January. That's something you have to worry about. Even LeBron James, he's 32, he'll be 33 in December. That's not necessarily old, but you have to remember this guy's been playing the NBA since he was 18 years old. So physically, it's more like he's 35 or so. You know what I'm saying? 35, 36. He's older. I noticed he hasn't been looking as explosive as in the past. I think he said his conditioning isn't what it usually is, so that might explain it. But we'll see. But tell me what you guys think.